Welcome one and welcome all back again to another venture of Fat Boy, not at the forge but in my own kitchen. So what we're going to be doing today, because it's like 105 and honestly I haven't been feeling the best. I don't really feel like going out there and making stuff worse by, well, overheating. Sorry for the mess in the kitchen. I swear it's usually cleaner. Not really. But, so I've been revisiting some old projects that I've made, and I want more of them to be a little safer to be around. And not all of them do I have time to make like a wooden sheet that's decent, but it doesn't really hold because I haven't made this one tight enough. So I've been thinking, and I've found, get that before it scurries away. And me and my wife both are avid readers, as you may have seen in previous videos, but we have some back panel, like to make the bookshelves look a little nicer. I don't like them. So what I've instead done is cut a little bit out, glued them together, and made sheaths that actually do hold. Are they going to stand up a long time? No, but it is something where if I drop this or I pretend to cut, there's enough material that I'm leaving between it and the ends that it's not going to cut. So it's going to be a little safer for storage or what have you. So the Bowie knife or Bowie sword I have made, and it feels a lot better in the hand than just with the blade. Like this, like I like the bulkiness that the sheath offers, but in reality, if I try to grab the sheath and I'm not holding the sword, it just comes out, or what have you. Same thing. And that's because this actually gives a little bit, even though it's more like a cardboard-ish texture, it still works. And like I said, for just display purposes, I can handle it. So if you want to learn how to do this, if you have any of like this stuff lying around, go ahead and like the video, maybe consider subscribing. Check out my Twitch Exius Forge, because I do, while I have some downtime between work and stuff, I have started to stream like Minecraft, Fall Guys, and I might play a few other games. Warbot.io, gotta get back to the classics. But in today's video, I'm gonna be making a sheath for the OG katana that I've made. Even though it doesn't have the curve, it's more of like a long sword katana, illegitimate child sword. So, what I did first was I just took a piece that basically was the length of the sword. I drew out the around the blade, because this will be at the middle part, so that this will slide in and have a little rest. So now what I'm going to do is take this pattern and draw it 2 more times on this. One this way and one this way, that way you kind of get a fake wood. So let me move the camera down so you can actually see what the heck I'm doing. Also, I'm using my new phone as kind of the camera just to see the quality. And since I'm not outside, not too worried about it. So they don't have to be super pretty lines, because let's face it, I'm not a super pretty person. Now, like I also said, is this going to be the most durable? No, it's not. But for what I want to do with it, it will be more than enough. And that's just it. Super rough drawing. Now basically, all that's left to do is cut these out, cut inside here out, take some of our some glue, and go around the edges, glue them in place, and then I'd like to also put some around the edges just to give it more of a solid hold. And, well, there's several different ways you can cut them. You can be a man and use a sword. You can use scissors, but you also risk bending this, which, honestly, I guess, like I said, since it's going to be a just kind of, not really a decorative piece, you can use regular scissors or these. These are a little thinner for the blade, and they cut just as well. They probably could cut better, but it is what it is. Now, like I said, just put those over there. And then you basically just repeat that down there. And then we'll have our two edges. Now I will have to go outside a little bit. Let me get one of them that I have been working on. One of the other OG katanas. And as you can see, like when I'm gluing them and everything, they're not all that pretty to look at on the outside. Now, I'll probably end up taking a Dremel or something, or even hand sanding, and just go around so that this is a little easier on, like, it doesn't feel as rough. But as you can see, I like it just because I could throw a strap on this, make it into like a belt holder, pulls out relatively easy. Honestly, you could go probably one step further and actually heat this up, kind of bend it a little bit so that it makes it look like it has a like more easy to like sheath and unsheath it, because it is a very tight fit. Also, depending on the length of your blade or the width of your blade, you may have to go with a couple of these for a section. But as it is, relatively thin blade made out of angle iron. One of my very first swords, like I said, I'm proud of it. It has actually stabbed me through the foot. And if it doesn't stab you and draw blood, is it really yours? So I'm gonna shut up, cut this out, and when I get this cut out, I will be back, which you'll see this in a time lapse, even though it's not gonna take long. Now there are other stuff you could do with like these inserts. Personally, some of these I just throw away because there's really nothing. Now I will keep this long piece because I might be able to use that for something else, but we shall see. So now the fun part. Don't get me wrong, it's all fun. I am going to move that. So now we're going to take some glue, and we're going to do this in a couple layers. Which eventually I will probably have to buy some more. Let's go around. Now you can use other glue. I just choose this. Because if you do this, and even if you're doing this just for show, you're gonna want a little bit thicker on the edges just so it doesn't come apart. And like I said, I'm also going to be doing like the sides. Now just line everything up. So as that dries, eventually we'll go and put this piece on, flip it over, and then do the whole process over. The only difference is I won't have to really worry too much about this like warping anymore because it'll already be glued. Like I said, doing this, it's a little easier because you only have to clamp it like once, but like I said, I don't want to make this kind of sheath for all the product, like all the swords. So when that gets dry, I will be back. But yeah, you can always check, make sure. Now what I like to do is make sure everything slides in. Everything does. So that's, and now we repeat. And as that dries, like I said, eventually it's going to turn into something like that. Where now when that dries, normally what I'll do is I'll put more like on here, kind of like that, just to give it that extra part, just so that it doesn't. But if you want to see me attach, like, I don't know, some kind of string or something and actually wear it as a belt, let me know down there in the comments. And if you want to see more of these being made, go ahead and give me a follow. Subscribe if you haven't. Like. So, got that mostly finished. Got a lot of like the corners, which you could go through and use like a rotary tool. Clean those up. What I really like to do though is use just a file. And pretty much just kind of a rough bill, which I can go back in and do some hand sanding. Like I said, for me, this is just making sure that it's not going to stab me if I storm. So it still slides in and out pretty easily. Yeah, we're about to go inside, baby. So yeah, pretty much that's it. If you want to see me put like some Velcro or something on it and actually have it as like a waist holster, let me know down there in the comments below. But as always, like I said, still easy to slide in and out. It's not coming out. I also did that on a lot of the other ones. I did some hand sanding. Now you may eventually, if you try this, you really got to be careful with like the little wooden paper, because that all comes off relatively easy if you're not careful. But yeah, like I said, they all slide in and out pretty easily. What I also like to do is once I get this sanded, which I have, I'll probably go back through and cover the edges in more glue, which I'll do off camera because I need to buy some more. But yeah, that's pretty much a cheap option to like a sheath without having to carve any chunks of wood or anything. So I'm gonna go back inside because it's storming out here. Feels really nice. It's only like 77 degrees right now. So, peace.